Good afternoon. I'm Jason Medlock. I'm your host of I'm Woke, and this is our season finale. It's been a long journey, but it's been well worth it. We're glad that we've been able to connect with the number of viewers who have come out and who have logged on, who have given their attention to this hour of spiritual talk, this hour of using our spiritual gifts to help us grow and help us to become much better than we are today. But I'm excited. I'm happy. I have all of the original guests. Everybody who started in season 1 will be here tonight. And each one of us will talk about what experiences that we experienced. I mean, we had a lot of guests on and we tried a lot of different techniques. I know we have Toska, we have Tareska, we have Tasha, who will be here tonight to sort of take you back down memory lane and to, explore each topic and give it its ample time. So without any further ado, I want to introduce my original contributors from the first show from season 1. We're at episode 13, and that is a fantastic feat in itself. So without any further ado, let me get my people on here. There we go. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, guys.
Hey, Jason.
Hey.
Okay, we're here. What's going on? What's going on?
Hi.
How's it going?
How you? Everything's going good. How about you?
Good. I kind of gave a little small intro, and we just talked about. I told the audience that we're coming back together. This is our final show. We had a fantastic season. We had a number of guests who really brought a lot of interest. They brought a lot of knowledge, and in some cases, they help people with their own personal struggles or just different ways to heal yourself. So I thought it'd be great. And I remember we were on the phone, Tareska, and you and I were talking about, how do we wrap this up? I mean, how are we going to wrap this season up? You remember that conversation?
Yeah, exactly. I do. I remember.
Yeah, so we were talking about wrapping this season up, and we came up with the idea of let's get everybody back on. Let's talk about our experiences. Let's kind of share, what we took from the show, from the guests that were on, and then did we apply it in our personal lives? And I don't know, I'm excited. Toska, what you got?
But you know what? I'm excited to be back. I mean, I think that, it's congratulations to you on one full season.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's to be commended,
Yeah.
Yay, clap it up, round of applause. That's to be commended that, you set out some goals, you did the work, you studied, you brought really impactful voices to the platform. You brought diverse voices to the platform. You were intentional about making sure that that people understood the full scope of I'm Woke.
Yes.
And what your objectives were and what your goals were. And so, congratulations and kudos to you. So I'm just excited that to be here tonight. And with the contributors. And so anything I think that we could have done to just undergird you and to support you, for me, that was my goal.
Yeah. And the support came in just spiritual, I like to call it additives, advice, different topics to talk about. And being a contributor is not just being on the show and kind of looking cute. I mean, but Toska, you brought the thunder when
we want to look cute.
I know, but you brought the thunder when we had Pastor Bridget Goins on, y'all. Y'all remember Pastor Goins?
Yeah.
With the spiritual gifts, but Toska, one of those nights brought the thunder. I was like, ooh, she is going off. Tasha, how you feeling out there, Tasha?
Man, listen. I'm piggybacking off of Toska. Congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, hey, it's all of us.
I remember we had a conversation and you just told me exactly, T, this is what I want to do. This is my vision. And I told you, Jason, if anybody can do it, you'll do it.
Sure.
Always put forth an effort whenever you set out to do something. If it's not right, you're not going to start it. You're going to wait until you feel that it's perfected. So congratulations, Jay. I am so excited for you. And I'm excited to be back with the ladies. I am excited.
I mean,
when you found me on the first time and then you came and said, T, what do you think? You know, you ready to come back? I said, you know what? I just want to sit in the back. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. So the guests you had on here were phenomenal. I mean, I'm talking about, I'm calling people, listen, did you see this or whatever? Because it was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
I think that's the thing. I mean, because you said that you're learning, I'm learning. I feel like I'm a believer. I mean, a beginner, and then just, you know, kind of walking in this journey because it's new and it's an education, you know, for me, and I hear you're saying it for you too. And so to be able to learn from both Jason and Tareska, because, you know, it's a passion of theirs, and they've just gone deeper and deeper, and so to be able to sit at their feet, you know, we may joke and, you know, and things of that nature, but, you know, God is using both of them, you know, and in very, very unique and different ways from traditions that we may think that God uses one. Mm-hmm. But I believe that God is using both of them, you know, to elevate their gifts for His glory and for His people.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you saved some for me so I could introduce the last contributor. I was like, ooh, she better not steal my thunder. You know, but she could not resist the opportunity to prop up her big sister. Saying, I love it. I love it.
You brought me on, so you know I'm gonna run my mouth.
I love it. But you know, and then we have Tareska, who, you know, said, okay, I'm gonna carry this water with you the whole way. And because people come in and out and do like Tasha came in one time, and Toska's got gigs all over the country, working as a communication specialist, a public relations specialist in the faith-based industry. So she's busy, but we're glad when she can come on the show. But Tareska carried the bucket of water on one shoulder, and I carried the bucket on the other shoulder, but came through with riveting content and observation, you know, in her own personal experiences tied into the fact that she could feel the guest and what the guest was saying, but then to have her own revelation in between all of that, I just thought was probably one of the best experiences of the year. Was talking to my sister, you know, weekly, just watching us grow and in this spiritual walk. Tareska, talk to us.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. We all must understand that we're all on a journey. We're always learning because that's the way God has intended it to be. We'll be on a journey until the day we die, until, you know, we'll never really completely know and be able to put all the pieces together. But He's allowed us, and it's a blessing, y'all, that He's allowed us to be able to walk this enlightenment, this awakening, the journey that we're on. Because a lot of people, even when we talk to Christian world, you know, people they'll get afraid. They're afraid of it. And I think it's a sad thing because God created it all. Yes. And what we have to know that if we can settle in and sit in and understand that God says that I am love, that energy of love, that which is in us, love, then there is nothing to fear about anything. There's no one that we can attach ourselves to that can journey us to a place of everlasting life, because He's given it to us. That's a gift already. We already have that eternal life. So I just think that all the different episodes was a joy to really get to see inside other people's experiences, just to journey along and to understand their walk and from where they came from and how it happened for them. Because that's what this show is about, is how each person became awoke. Awakened. How did we wake? Awaken. How we awoke. How we woke up. And a lot of people, a lot of these different people, just regular people, y'all. This is humankind. This is mankind. This is what God wanted us to do. This is the abundance that He talked about in the Word of God. You know, this is the abundance that He's looking for us to have.
Absolutely.
You know,
when you speak of the awakening, we'll listen to this clip right quick, and then we'll come back and we'll just talk about it.
But when my sister Tareska woke me up with with the words that she gave me for my affirmation of faith, I mean, it was incredible. It was an incredible experience on how to use metaphysics. I didn't know what metaphysics was at that time, but now I knew what she gave me was a form of metaphysics. It was a form of manifestation. But when she gave me the affirmation of faith and the way I applied it, I was like, oh my God, this stuff works. It just blew me away. And at that moment, my third eye chakra started to open.
Hey, I mean, I'm just, I got to tell you, Tareska, that, the moment that you understand how to use the law of attraction, and there are components to the law of attraction. And we talked about this, you and I, which we pulled that show off, and that was episode 2. We talked about the law of attraction. You originally introduced me to the affirmation of faith, and you gave me lines that I needed to say, and I needed to repeat them daily. And not knowing that I was calling into the universe, connecting with light frequencies so that I could fulfill the actual request within the affirmation of faith. I wanted to be the all-time, I wanted to be the single season leading tackler. I wanted to be academic All-American. This is in college. And I was putting these things in this affirmation of faith that you gave me, went up to UNLV, and did all those things, and then had a newspaper article written about it. So when we talk about things that have happened on this show, how they affect us, and I can just tell you right there, just that period of time, learning how to use the affirmation in actuality was a form of metaphysics. And metaphysics is, for you out there, is, using your mind and using different peripherals that are available to you, different gifts that we have to make things shift in your life. Right.
And just think about just the understanding of who you are, and to know that once you determine your makeup, let's just talk about the makeup of the energy, and that which is within us is magnetic. So we draw onto the things that are coming from the universe. And so the Bible tells us to decree a thing and declare a thing. And it says ask. And that's all that affirmations are, is decreeing and declaring a thing over and over. But when you do those things, if you can do it in a pure, in a truth about it, and understanding that it is as he says it is, then you do manifest, and and that's how it happens. That's how miracles happen, that we call miracles, and that's how things are manifested.
I mean,
but it's just.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, but I'm just going back to the moment of us doing the first show, and then we're coming back with episode 3, I believe, with the Law of Attraction series. I mean, we just got right into it, and the experience I've had with using the affirmations of faith. But the experiences I had with the actual application of the law of attraction through the vision board. And I want you to talk about the vision board, because if we're going to go back and talk about these shows and how they affected our lives, we have to talk about the components. And I like the fact that we don't just give you the top line stuff. We're going to go ahead and dig down here and teach for this one segment. But the law of attraction moved to one of the modalities, which is the vision board. I want you to talk about that.
Well, before
it's interesting. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Toska.
I was going to say, when you guys are talking about the law of attraction, and then the manifestation, and I think that you said to decree and declare a thing, in for some in the Bible or in the Word. I mean, I think that it goes back to kind of what I was. I think I kind of harped on this a little bit in maybe one of the earlier shows. about the whole negative thoughts, Jason.
Yes.
That stinking thinking.
Thinking.
So I mean, I think
You earned some awards that night.
but I think that it's about removing negative thoughts, right?
Right.
And visualizing the thing that you want to have manifested, right?
Right.
And so I think that was a very, very powerful part of that show that we did, because it challenged so many of us it challenges your thoughts. Okay. Because, it's one thing to just say, okay, well, I'm just going to manifest and I'm just going to think a thing, or I'm going to feel what have you. But if you really are not changing your mind, you're really just saying words.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's why I think that in all of that you just said, and what we were trying to communicate to the audience, during that particular show, was that it really all starts with our thinking.
Absolutely.
And to ensure
so let me just So let me just say that one of the exercises, after the show, and one of the things that we've done from the different people that I've learned from, some of the exercises that I've utilized, instead of because we know that when light enters darkness, it illuminates the room, right? It takes over darkness.
Yes, it does.
And you don't have to move darkness aside. Light just comes in. So what I started to do when I began to do my meditation and feel like negative thoughts may become, I just think of the light. I bring the light forward. I bring all positive messages forward. And I mean, it just takes it away. What's the word I'm looking for? It just overcomes the darkness, the darkness in my mind. Anything that negative thinking that I might have, I just bring in love and light. And that made it easier for me when I thought, the light, when you turn the light on in the room, it overcomes darkness. It's not a battle to take out darkness.
It just
bring in the light.
Right.
Just
bring in the light.
Bring the light.
But
just bring in the
before we move,
bring the light.
Before we move too far, but we were talking about this. We were in episode 2 or 3, I believe. It was the Law of Attraction episode, and we were talking about vision boarding. And right now, I was just speaking a minute ago about the affirmations of faith and how that directly tied in to the next step was the Law of Attraction. And then I began to learn how to vision board from you really, really quick, because we're going to move on. I want Tasha to talk about some things, but go through that whole process of vision boarding.
Well, first of all, I don't even know why I even started the vision board. I just think that something in me said do a vision board, and I just started doing it. I don't know why I started doing it, but I do know that I was wanting to manifest some things. And I do, at the time, I know that when you can see, if you can place and if you can visualize something and put it up there, and you continually look at it every day, and you kind of put it in your mind and keep it going every day, then that thing it would come into fruition. But one of the things I wanted to do was bring everybody together, family members, all the people that were interested in maybe setting goals or deciding their future and putting it all on the board. And, and we came together and we did those things. There were different exercises that we were specific about, magazines and pictures and things we put out. People were putting words that came to them out. And interesting enough, Jason, that that this next time vision board party, I'm going to do a little bit differently, because I'm going to ask people to meditate before they do it, because I really want them to connect with the Spirit of God. Just connect before you move forward, so that everything you move in sequence and in rhythm with the Lord and what He's saying for you to do. Right. And like you did, tell your story, Jason.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was looking at my vision board from 3.5 years ago, maybe 4. I think we dated it 3 years ago. And I was looking back at the vision board, and most of the things on the board I had accomplished. I'm like, okay, wow. But there was one phrase that I wrote on the vision board 3 years ago. And the phrase was, I'm woke. And that's all I put. I put, I'm woke, and I put it in glitter. and I had, you put the Elmer's glue, and I outlined the word "I'm woke," and I glittered it up because I was saying that, hey, I'm getting ready, I'm waking up. That was 3 years ago, and ironically, we've come out with this show, and it's been, the rest has been history. But Tasha, I'm gonna come to you because we had you in on show one, and then you supported us the entire season, but now you're back. And did you take anything with you with any of the shows that we did this season? Was there any in particular technique or anything that possibly helped?
Yeah, because I noticed that even though each guest was someone different, everything surrounded about finding yourself, low vibration, law of attraction, everything surrounded that. And I thought about Tareska because I remember Tareska talked to me about law of attraction. And I believe it was Dr. Keisha Holly Johnson who mentioned, I believe someone.
She's a rock star.
Oh my God. I believe someone asked a question about manifesting or something, getting frustrated that they can't do it at one time. And she was saying that you have to learn how to, what did she say? Give yourself grace, forgive yourself, just know yourself or whatever she said, because when you become frustrated about not being able to do something, that's a form of low vibration. And I thought that was really interesting because I remember how you and Tareska both told me about like negative words, about, keeping those out of your vocabulary, try to keep that out. But that frustration part really, I'm like, oh man, I learned so much. And I believe also I had started I've talked to someone else and I learned about affirmations, and someone showed me and taught me to listen to affirmations on my way to work. But just listen to them every morning. I say them, I start listening to them on the radio, whatever. And the same one, Dr. Keisha Holly Johnson, I'm saying her name right.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She mentioned going to sleep, listening to affirmations.
Right. She did.
I started doing that, and oh my God, the next morning I was just like, floating. It was just crazy. And so that's what I took away from all these shows, just learning myself and learning how to get closer to the law of attraction. I find myself now, people probably think like, what's wrong with her? Because I find myself speaking and having to stop in the midst of my conversation because I'm thinking of a negative word. I have to stop myself and try to change that conversation so that I can keep that out of my vocabulary. I think that's the part that really, really, really helped me.
Well, that moment when you experience and you try these new things, you realize that, whoa, I am. Yeah. When things happen like that, you kind of understand, but you don't know the answer to it, but it happened for you. And you try to rationalize with supposedly whatever you think your brain is not your brain, people. It's your conscience being beamed in from somewhere else. But we were the recipients of sending out this frequency, sending out this vibration of things that we want or things that we dream about or go to sleep listening to this type of music. And when they happen, we say, oh, I got luck. Oh, no, it was what I was doing. But what was I doing? I was simply changing my vibration, moving my frequencies, and so that they would pair up with someone who had similar frequencies. And once you can just understand that whole concept, it doesn't make you not religious. It just makes you understand that, hey, this human body I have can do some really special things. And that's all we've been trying to get people to understand.
It just really makes you understand the process of it all.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it makes you understand, because as I told the story about one of our members at a church being healed through our prayers. And when it was high vibrate, it was high prayer and high praise going on in that room.
Yes.
And she was healed. And so that level of vibration, we knew she was healed, and it was miraculous to us. It was a God thing, but then there's a process. God has given us and equipped us with the things that are in us, but we just don't understand the process. and how it happens. And all this is when I say I'm woke, you're understanding the inner things that are happening, that the connections that's been happening from Earth to the universe, and those things that are going on outside of that we can't see, that we can't really physically see, that are part of us.
That's what that means to me also, Tareska, when you're talking about I'm woke. It really means to me, for my translation, it's like, I'm tapped in. I'm tapped into the ultimate power because if God has given us
you're going to make me write some notes. No, hold on. The ultimate power.
Then, because the Bible says that, we can do greater works, right? And so and that is to be tapped in. So when Jason says that I'm woke, and you said you wrote that on your vision board 3 years ago.
I did.
And God really will manifest some things. He will take you through some things, in order for you to find your center. And so the thing about what we have to understand is that Tareska said it earlier in the show. It's a journey. For everybody has their own journey. And so for us to be able to find our center and to be able to declare I'm woke, you have to be in that space to where you can tap in and on different levels. Yeah. Because it happens. Absolutely. I may not be able to tap in on the level that you're tapping in because my journey is not on the same wavelength as your journey.
Well, let's see. Let's look at this clip, and I'll talk about being woke, and maybe we can further this conversation.
Being awake is just the beginning. Now that I realize all the spiritual gifts that I have, that you have, it is absolutely just mind-blowing. I've learned how to leave my body with astral projection. I've learned how to meditate and keep my mind still for hours at a time. I've learned how to manifest. I've learned how to manifest things you wouldn't believe. We've just begun. And now my new journey has begun, and that is to share the knowledge with everyone, to teach, to consult, to help anybody, and to deliver content in the most meaningful way for the greatest and highest use for all.
And when you hone in to these special gifts that we have, when you realize that you are emitting a frequency when you pray, you are emitting a frequency when you're angry, when you hate your boss, when you hate your cousin, when you can't stand this girl that messed your lashes up, or somebody who cut your hair the wrong way. They all count. They're all fair game. And I think the show throughout the entire year sort of touches on that in all the different modalities. We had Michelle Bonilla. We had Chloe Moores. We had Chloe Moores was great. We had Camry Cole. We had Bridget Goings. We had Dr. Anise Maston. We had Amber Neal, who was an empathic comedian. We had Roderick Martin, who was a UFO expert. And now we have us. And if you don't learn anything from tonight, because we're going to be dropping nuggets all night, is to really, really understand that everything starts from inside.
Yeah. And the most interesting thing about that is any one of us could have those same people. You just named gifts and purposes, but God, like Toska said, God is, everyone's on different journeys. So, but I just want everybody to know that your journey is strongly starting now, because if you weren't, God is seeking you now. He never stops seeking you. You just have to reach out there and grab his hand and, go for what he is offering you. That's what you have to do, because God is always out there trying to pull you in.
That's
why it takes certain techniques and certain things for you to do to sit and let him do a work in you.
Okay. So I'm going to play another quick clip, but I want us to talk about this after we look at it.
How did my research begin? Oh, I did a book journey, and let me walk you through how that process was and how it enlightened me so much. The first book I read was Elizabeth Womack, The 12 Archangels. Wow. That was a enlightening book because it talked about the Archangel Michael, the Archangel Gabriel. And it talked about how God created the universe. This book, ironically, are dealing with sound and light. When I tell you an amazing book, that was one of the first books I read, and it really catapulted me into my awakening. I didn't stop there. I read Angel Words by Doreen Virtue. I read Far Journeys by Dr. Bob Monroe. But everything would always come back to meditation.
So I want to ask all of you throughout this series, throughout these shows that we've been doing, which book or what books or what modality grabbed your attention for knowledge? Who wants to go first?
I will say that, had told you guys about this book called Learning to Be by Juanita Campbell Rasmus. She's the co-pastor at St. John's Church in Houston. And what caught my attention about that book was that that she had a serious breakdown, and she really talked about how she had to just kind of really find her center when the bottom fell out, and she had to figure out a new way of being.
Yes,
and the new way of being for her really centered Jason around meditation, and really understanding from a deeper level, more so her faith in Christ. It just went so much deeper than her faith in Christ. That was her center, but she really was exposed in this book to other practices that really made it powerful for her to now tell the story and to help others to learn to be when their center is falling out. And I will say to you that this process here has made me even look deeper in my Bible. It's made me go further, in the Word and listening to other, and then looking at other books as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Jason, there was a book that Dr. Maston mentioned that I haven't read yet, but I'm definitely going to read it because it has to do. The name of it is "Who Switched Off My Brain."
You know what? She mentioned that.
Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm getting that book because it has to do with we're wired to connect to God. Like she says, we're wired to connect with God. So there are so many people that are walking around with a switched off brain. So it's about turning on that brain so you can reconnect to the things that God is trying to download to us. He's downloading things all day long. He's trying to download to us. So that book right there.
Say it one more time for the audience because we're giving out our book tips for tonight. What was that again?
Who Switched Off My Brain? And I don't know the author. I don't remember the author, y'all.
Yeah, Who Switched Off My Brain? I remember Dr. Maston speaking about that. Tasha, any book,
by Carolyn Leaf.
Oh, by Carolyn Leaf.
Yes, Carolyn. That's it.
That's it. My Brain by Caroline Leaf.
Tasha, any experiences, any gaining of knowledge, anything that really you said, okay, I got to spice up my books. I have to get my knowledge right. Anything that moved you during this season?
I think I haven't read it, but Camry Cole, Living in the Moment.
Yes.
That's a book that I have to get. She was speaking directly to me. She mentioned something about synchronicity.
Yes.
Jason, we've talked about some of the experiences I've had, and I still haven't been able to get an answer to why I'm having these experiences. And when Camry spoke of synchronicity, I'm like, is that it? But then I heard Dr. Keisha Holly I'm
Johnson.
mixing them up.
Yep.
Johnson mentioned
That's okay.
being a seer because, like I told you before, how I can be sitting in one room and vision something outside, not even being outside, and I can get up and go outside, and that exact vision that I had is happening. So I'm like, okay, is it synchronicity or am I a seer? I'm still struggling with that.
And also clairsentient abilities, meaning
what was it called?
And also clairsentient abilities. Okay. That's on the realm of being able to see things, being somewhat psychic.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think that is meant all of the literature that they introduced, but Camry Coles is one that I'm really interested in getting.
Camry was she was a very interesting guest. She was so young, but Camry had already had experiences. She was already in contact with dimensional beings. She was in contact with the source. She was able to channel. But she also was she was a millennial, and she was navigating her life in the midst of all this, and she was able to write that book at that young age. And Camry has an outstanding book. I've read most of it. I hadn't read all of it, but I couldn't put it down for one moment. But I had to get ready for this, other things that were going on. But no, Camry was really, really good. What did you think, Tareska, about Michelle Bonilla? Eternal Springs Wellness. When she came in and she talked about color puncture, she talked about acupuncture, she talked about past life regression.
She was excellent too. And all these people, I said I want to go and sit under their feet, each one of them. And she really talked about using light in whatever different ways to heal. Yes. That was one of the things I enjoyed about her. She was very so centered and so down to earth when it came to the work. That she would connect with psychiatrists, with people that needed that had mental whatever issues or whatever type of issues. She would connect differently with them. It didn't have to be so spiritual. Whatever way that she felt like that she could help. That's her whole thing. She also has the gift of clairsentience.
Yes.
She also has that ability as well. But I thought she was awesome.
Now, we know that
what's the name of her company? She says Internal Springs Wellness Center.
Eternal Springs Wellness Center. And that's Michelle Bonilla. I think she's in Colorado, I believe. If you want, you guys want to look her up, there's a Michelle Bonilla at Eternal Springs Wellness. But we just saw Amber Neal just say something funny. Yeah, I heard y'all talking about that. That's me. I think that was her comment. And remember, Amber Neal was the producer. She's the comedian. She's the president of Houston Boss Up Network. They have over 25 streaming shows. And this sister she's doing it. But she
got that matchmaker thing.
She's Houston's millionaire matchmaker. But for as talented of a person that she is, and as for as many of the things that she has, jobs, so to speak, she's a true empath. And her energy is often zapped. And she's often had problems with one of the careers she loves the most, and that's stand-up comedy. But the emotions in the audience sometimes drains her, or sometimes distorts her in a way that she's not able to, do a lot of the shows. But it was really special to have her on to explain that, and then talk about some of the things that she was going to start to practice at, so that she can control it. But being empathic is nothing new for you, Tareska. You just recently found out that you were empath. You want to talk about that experience?
Well, I want to talk about what you mean, and what you mean by what she means by that, because because being a comedian, you want to make people laugh.
Yes.
But then if you're around a whole group of people, you can sense what they're feeling.
Yes.
So it's hard, and you feel what they're feeling.
Yes.
So therefore, you feeling somebody in the audience coming in here to be to laugh or whatever, but you can sense their pain at the same time that's in them. It's hard to be funny and that can create contrast, and it makes it a little difficult. So that's my experience too. I can feel a person's pain. I can feel that. I mean, I feel it.
Incredible.
And so much so that I have to do. Speaking with Chloe Moores, I have to do exercises like grounding to kind of get that out of me. You got to get that out of you.
Chloe Moores came on in one of our earlier episodes. Chloe Moores, she has, you can reach her at Magentic Sun Healing. And Chloe is a channeler. She's a galactic energy healer. She actually taught me. I'm a certified galactic energy healer. Chloe is also a Reiki master. But ChloeMoores.com, ChloeMoores.com. But I had to give her those props because she's come into our lives. She's been able to bring clarity through her sessions, through her interdimensional sessions that we had with her. But you know what, Toska?
Yes.
All of the things that we've been talking about, and I know you're big on this, but I'm going to play this clip first, and then we're going to talk about it. And you've always been big on this, Toska. Here we go.
Okay.
Well, my podcast is for those who want to hear words of inspiration, who want to understand the awakening process, who want to maybe understand how to induce astral projection, how to learn to meditate, how to learn how to move your conscience, how to remote view. There's so many different spiritual gifts that we have. So I know that I'm Woke, the podcast, will help people who are trying to experience an awakening.
So Toska, I played that because that was my service to humanity. This is what I'm doing. I am bringing content. I am bringing techniques. I am trying to show different types of spiritual modalities and how people can cure themselves, how people can do a number of things to make their incarnation better here on Earth. That's my service to humanity. What's your service to humanity? You've been doing it for a number of years, but particularly doing these 13 episodes. Can you relate to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we all have been created to serve, mankind and humankind. I think that, that is, we were made, and created, to worship our infinite power and to be able to serve one another. And I think that, when we do that, then that is, for me, that is the ultimate joy, because I think that if you, and that helps also, because when people are in spaces to where they are, when you look at, people will tell you all the time, and this is a season where a lot of people are grieving. I had a really tough weekend this past weekend because it was our mother's, 1 year that she transitioned. And this is at her highest, at her next level, her next life, or what have you, if you will. And it was just a real, grief is a real thing, right? And so it's so many people around us who are grieving something. So whether it's a loss of a job, loss of a loved one, loss of something, but what I found out is that if you turn, Tareska said, if you turn yourself or your spirit, to be in service, if you're in a dark place and you turn the light on, darkness has to go, And so one of the things that I see in what you just said is that we were created to serve. We were created to, and that is the highest, I think that is the ultimate thing for our lives, is to give ourselves away to others, and so that's really my take on it. And I think that when you do that, then you experience the greatest blessings that will come back, and you won't like the old folks say, you won't have a window, you won't have enough blessings that you cannot store your blessings. You know, what's the saying, Tareska? God will open up a window and pour out blessings that you won't
pour out blessings. Yeah, so you won't have room to receive.
That you won't have room to receive. But it all starts with you giving yourself away in service.
So Tasha, can you resonate with, you know, anything that that involves service to humanity?
I'm just, you know, I hear what you're saying and I hear what you're asking me, but I'm just like so connected with Toska and what she's saying, because when she was saying all that, I'm just like thinking of the songs, I give myself away. And it's just like, she's absolutely right. I mean, I'm talking about, it's just like I said, with me, learning myself in this journey, I mean, during this journey, during all the episodes we had, I find myself giving more and more and more and freely and loving it. I feel so enlightened. And so I just feel that, yeah, you give and you receive blessings on top of blessings.
And Tareska, I know that I know that when I talk about being of service to humanity in sharing your gifts with humanity, you and I, it's like a doggone rope in between, and we pulling that rope left and right. But there's a reason why you started a different type of journey, and you think, well, 1 second,
let me just put that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and finish asking your question.
No, but when you think about it, you're not doing things on your own. None of us are doing anything to getting a job, reading the Bible, picking up a new book, learning a new technique. This is not us. Take your human brain out of it. But when I see,
we're on the same page, Jason.
Yeah. So
we're on the same page. We're on the same page, because what I was saying here, what I hear, and I believe that because, first of all, we give ourselves, God has a purpose. He has a plan for us, and He has a purpose for this earth, and He has a plan for us while we're on this earth as humankind, and how He wants us to live on this earth. So one of the things of giving myself away, when I hear that song, and from my perspective, is turning my fleshly self over, pulling it aside, killing it, so God can allow me to receive and use the gifts, the spiritual gifts that He has given me fully. So that's giving yourself away so you can become who you truly are. Those are the breaking away of the flesh and of all the physical, the things that I see. God, and then we all have our own thumbprint on this society. We have purpose in this. Everyone has their own purpose in what Toska said, serving and serving humankind. Because of the different gifts He's given us, we have our own different purposes on how we serve humankind. So I think that the key here is that we free ourselves enough from flesh and from all thoughts of this is how I am and this is where I want to be.
Throw that hand up in there, girl.
Who God says I am. I am who God is showing me I am.
Yeah.
I'm uncovering and discovering all the gifts that I thought were just some stuff going on in me. But there's some real things.
And you know what? Say it again.
I just want to jump in. Let me jump in real quick, because let me ask you this question. I want to ask your audience also, because I see that they're chiming in. The question is, what good is it to be woke just to be woke? Why are you woke? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that you can be smart and, and hey, and I'm vibrating high and, and I'm,
the question is, why are you woke?
So because the reality of it is if we want to be at our highest selves, it's not for ourselves.
Mm-mm.
It has to be for mankind.
Yes.
For humankind,
And so
yes.
if service is not at the root of who we are or why we're wanting to be woke, we don't just need to be woke because we have the knowledge and we, want to be able to, do the things that, that our minds can allow us to do. What good is that? If you are not, what good is delivering the content if people are not moved to do?
Right. And the question is also is what are they moved to do?
And that's what
when
Jason talks about.
we have to know
Purpose. When he talks about about purpose, that's right. So in your wokeness and your awakening, my prayer is that we're awakening to our purpose.
Yes.
So that we can activate why we were created.
Because I feel the ultimate goal here is heaven on earth. Is so that we can be that elevated being here on earth.
That's right.
Not just in the universe, not when we die and become that, but we can do those things here, that every single person on this earth will be able to live on in a higher vibration on earth.
Well, let me say this. I think that we should all, we're going to give everybody the answer to what we're going to wrap the show up, but we're going to give them the answer that we feel that unlocks them. And I'm going to start off. I'm going to go first.
Yeah. One of the questions I get mainly is, how do you speak to God or how do you reach God? But what they should be asking is, how do I find the God within myself? In the podcast, I'm Woke, we talk about those type of things on how to find everything you want from within. Anything that you ever thought that you needed in your life from within, it all starts from within. And I wish that more people would, just follow that, because everything that's external, it's just what it is. You don't start truly living, until you explore what's within.
I truly believe that my answer to this entire 13 show episode, the answer to all of it is within.
Yeah.
It's within. Have you guys, and I'll start with you, Tasha, have you figured out an answer for why you're moving into this journey? Anything?
You know what? Throughout this whole 13 episode, like Toska or Tareska, I can't remember which one said it. Reading the Bible is reading the Bible. You learn, you go to church, you speak with your parents, you speak with your peers, and this is what we were taught to do. However, if you don't understand the reason why you're doing it, if you don't understand yourself, you're just reading. And honestly, at the beginning, that's what I was doing. So like I told you before, all the experiences I was having or whatever, I never knew what it was about and everything. Now that I'm understanding, it's a gift that I have, and it's nothing that I have to be afraid of. I'm learning myself. Mm-hmm. And so learning within, it's truly a blessing. And I feel I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Toska, did you come up with an answer to your entire walk? Not just this year, but did you come up with an answer?
Yeah, I think that for me, Eric is saying here that to be woke is to be conscious. Mm-hmm. And are all so-called woke people conscious? And he took the words out of my mouth because,
Brother Eric, thank you.
Let me just say this, because I remember a few years ago, I think it was 2016 or 2017, when the 5 Dallas police officers and a DART officer were killed in that ambush downtown Dallas.
Yes.
After a peaceful protest. Okay. We had a number of youth that were at that peaceful protest from our church at St. Paul, the church we all grew up in. And they had these shirts that was saying, stay woke or I'm woke or something like that. And I remember the awareness and the consciousness that those young people became aware of as it related to social justice. And then they began to learn about it and read about it and study on it and going into, different things. And there was a level of wokeness around the injustices that were happening. And so then they moved their wokeness into a conscious action to do. Okay. Not just to know, but to be able to do. And so for me, for me, being woke is about making a concerted and conscious effort to be in service, to make a difference, to change the things that are not the way that they should be. So I don't just want to be woke on a level and just to say that I'm woke, but I want to be a conscious woke person to be able to move to action, to change a thing that will help life to be better for other people.
And conscience is a broad topic. Yeah, conscience is a broad topic. And me knowing Eric, Eric, man, the conscience where you know that you are a multidimensional being and that you are living simultaneously in 9 different dimensions at least. Tareska.
So
I know the answer was, inside for me. And, where did you find the answer at? And when did you find okay, I know this is how I get down. When did you find the answer or how was it?
Well, because of the different experiences that I've experienced across my journey. And then by actually all the episodes and listening to different shows and talking to a few of the people from these episodes individually, which it just confirmed that that I've always had a knowing. I don't know when it had. I was young too, but I always had a knowing. And I think from Bridget, it was probably a gift of knowledge and then a gift of wisdom on top of that. But what I do know is there's no awakening like the spiritual one. So and until you can connect and get in, until you can truly connect to what the vision and the purpose of God, then any other type of awakening doesn't matter at the point. What it is going to be a physical and spiritual struggle. See, God's design that we move in love completely, joy completely, that we elevate past the issues of this world, and that we interject love so intensely that it is the light that changes the darkness. It's not a fight of a spiritual fight. It's not a physical fight. It's a spiritual fight. Okay, so that is so I'm wired. My consciousness is being wired to the Lord, being wired to the different, to the energy of the universe. That's where I am. And I've been knowing that, Jason. I just have been able to put more words to it over the years.
Well,
different words.
So
languages.
We've all had a tremendous time with this audience. We know a lot of people look at this show and they come and they watch it a little bit later that evening. So if you missed this show, if you missed any of our shows, it's simple. Go to jasonmedlock.com, jasonmedlock.com. And if you like using YouTube, just go in and type in I'm Woke, the podcast. Facebook, I'm Woke, the podcast. And if you're using Instagram, just simply type in I'm Woke. And on TikTok, we're about to start TikToking, Toska. So I'm using my niece, Demi Hairston.
Do we get to dance?
Well, Demi's going to do a dance. Demi's going to do a lot. She's going to come in and just spice the whole thing up. But we'll be on TikTok, and we're I'm Woke, the podcast on TikTok, and we're I'm Woke, the podcast on Twitter. But guys, when we were talking, we a lot of people were chiming in. Mickey Long says it's truly a spiritual gift to be able to give to others in itself. It takes a certain awareness And we did. Carrie came back and said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven." And that was by Muhammad Ali. Excuse me. And Ms. Grismore came back and said, "Thank you, I'm Woke Platform. Your guests and the information you've shared with us has awakened my mind, my body, and my soul. I can't wait to see what I'm Woke has store for us next year." So, wow,
Awesome.
that's really awesome. That's really awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it is.
Now we're probably running out of time. Well, how much time do we have?
I think you're over your time.
Oh, we're at the hour. We're at the.
We're right at it.
Yeah.
We're right at it. Any parting shouts?
Yeah.
Tasha, give us a parting shout.
You said Tasha or Toska?
Tasha.
Oh, Tasha. Jason, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed. I'm woke. And just like EG mentioned, I cannot wait until next year. So I hope and pray that I am a part of the panel.
Oh, did she make the cut? We have to go back and grade you.
So much.
We got to go back and do our. We got to check the boxes, and grade you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So kudos, Jason. Like I said, I enjoyed everything about it.
Great. Toska, do you have any parting words for this audience?
I'm woke. Now what?
Now what?
Now what? Okay.
No more thinking.
So I'm woke. Now what? And so I'm all about moving to the next level, because I don't want you to be woke just to be woke. Now what?
Right.
Now
Who's gonna check me, boo?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Who's gonna check me, boo? I'm woke. Now what? So move to the next level.
Tareska?
I'm awakening. I'm slowly but surely going through the journey of it all. I'm not there yet. There's so much more, and there's so much more for you all. We can know a few things, but we're not there yet.
Is there such a thing as double awakening?
Let's just continue to grow and to continue to move.
No, I want you to finish though. I want to interrupt in between and then have you keep talking. But is there such thing as a double awakening? I think you may have had a double awakening, because I know when you did the whole ocean thing, you looked like you were woke, but then now you've said, well, wait a minute, there's some other gifts out here. What is going on?
Right. It's really moving from level to level, because you get at one level, but my for who I am and how I like to do things, I want to master each level. I don't want to just run through them, but I want to know exactly each level that I'm dealing with within my spiritual gifts and the things that God has given me. So I'm very excited and have been very enlightened by this whole experience, and very grateful, and just it was such a fun time for me. It was exciting. It was just fun to get to know the different people, the different guests you had on the show.
Yes.
And I would suggest for the audience, if you have not seen all the episodes, go back and look at them. Just and view them over and over. If you have questions, go back and look at some of the episodes. There are a lot of quality information there. So
it's a lot of quality information, and I encourage and tell your friends. I mean, that there's a podcast, there's a YouTube channel out there that gives some good, solid information on your spirituality, and we promise it won't hurt. We promise you it won't bite you. But having said all that, I'm going to move you guys to the back room. I want you guys to stay where you are so that we can have a conversation, so we can do a deep briefing, and we're going to have to check the box to see if Miss Tasha is going to be allowed to come back on the show next year.
Well, I may not be allowed to come back, Tasha, so don't worry about it.
Well, whatever. We're going to get you out of here. And I just want to say, guys, thank you very much for tonight. I mean, we had a fabulous look back at where we started. And now we've come to the end of the show, of the series, 13 shows in the books. And we will be back in 2022 with a fabulous lineup of top authors that are out there today that are writing on consciousness, that are writing on the Akashic records, people that are doing studies about the Anunnaki race. We'll be speaking with different spiritual leaders and spiritual influencers. And we'll have our own content that we'll introduce. And we'll start to teach more. We'll start to do more PowerPoint. We'll start to show you more meditation techniques. We'll start to share more information on how to use the law of attraction in different ways and different things you can say, and how many times a day you should say them. All these things will be on my website, www.jasonmedlock.com. But until then, we'll see you next year. I'll be dropping tidbits of information here and there. Follow us on YouTube. I'm Woke. Follow us on Facebook. I'm Woke the Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. I'm Woke the Podcast. Follow us on Instagram. I'm Woke. Until then, God bless you, and we'll see you next year.